Lights out on the hour. It is the hour of the time. Lights out for the curfew of your body, soul, and mind.
Welcome, folks, to the hour of the time, the only hour that ever was or ever will be. This is the most important hour in your entire life, for during this hour you will decide your future and thus our collective futures. I am your host, William Cooper. Not very good news, is it? Well, folks, the subject of this program tonight is how did we get to this point in history where the greatest nation in the history of the world is on the brink of total and final economic collapse. You're going to be amazed at what you're going to learn this hour. Many of you are going to be shocked, surprised, and some of you are going to be, in fact, I think the great majority of you are going to be ashamed of yourselves. Why is it that our schools teach our children nothing about money, economics? Why is it that we know as a people literally nothing about the monetary system and the economic system that our country operates under? How is it that most Americans believe that a private corporation known as the Federal Reserve Bank is an agency of the United States government when it is not? How is it that we write checks to the Internal Revenue Service believing that we are paying taxes and we are not? Why is it that in the nation with the most opportunity, the greatest affluence that the world has ever known, what used to be, is not now, but what used to be the best educational system on the face of this earth, with a constitution that guarantees each individual equality and freedom, what has happened, dear listeners? Well, in the next 50 or so minutes, you're going to find out. And when you find out, I want each and every one of you to hang your heads in shame. For we have not been invaded by the evil empire or some foreign army. No one has breached our shores. We have been destroyed from within, mostly by our own apathy, ignorance, and abdication of responsibility. And just as the Roman Empire once fell for the same reasons, we are in the process of falling into the abyss. And Americans, I can tell you right now, if they do not wake up and turn the tide, they will be relegated to slavery as indentured servants to the world bankers who will foreclose on the debt. A debt that at this moment we could not repay by any means whatsoever. Let's go to the United States Constitution, the supreme law of this land. In it, we can get at the very root of the problem that confronts us today, for in examining this document, we find that we are not conforming to the law. In Article 1, Section 8, it says, The Congress shall have power to lay and collect taxes, duties, imposts, and excises, to pay the debts and provide for the common defense and general welfare of the United States. But all duties, imposts, and excises shall be uniform throughout the United States. The Congress shall have power to lay and collect taxes, duties, imposts, and excises, to pay the debts and provide for the common defense and general welfare of the United States. But all duties, imposts, and excises shall be uniform throughout the United States. Paragraph 2. To borrow money on the credit of the United States. Paragraph 3. To regulate commerce with foreign nations and among the several states and with the Indian tribes. Paragraph 5. To coin money. Notice it says to coin money. Regulate the value thereof and of foreign coin and fix the standard of weights and measures. Now the next time that we find any mention of money or coinage whatsoever is in Article 1, Section 9. The migration, this is in paragraph 1, the migration or importation of such persons as any of the states now existing shall think proper to admit shall not be prohibited by the Congress prior to the year 1808, but a tax or duty may be imposed on such importation not exceeding $10 for each person. And then it goes all the way down to paragraph 4. No capitation or other direct tax shall be laid unless in proportion to the census or enumeration herein before directed to be taken. In paragraph 5, no tax or duty shall be laid on articles exported from any state. So, then we go to paragraph 6. No preference shall be given by any regulation or commerce or revenue to the ports of one state over those of another, nor shall vessels bound to or from one state be obliged to enter, clear, or pay duties in another. Paragraph 7. No money shall be drawn from the Treasury, but in consequence of appropriations made by law, and a regular statement and account of the receipts and expenditures of all public money shall be published from time to time. The next mention we have of money in any form, taxes, duties, coinage, money, whatever you want to call it, is in Section 10. And in Section 10, it makes an incredible statement. Article 1, Section 10 of the Constitution of the United States of America, in paragraph 1, says, no state shall enter into any treaty, alliance, or confederation, grant letters of marque and reprisal, coin money, emit bills of credit, and catch this, folks, I'm reading directly from the Constitution, quote, make anything but gold and silver coin a tender in payment of debts, unquote. And to continue, pass any bill of attainder, ex post facto law, or law impairing the obligation of contracts, or grant any title of nobility. So remember, in Article 1, Section 8, paragraph 5, it says the Congress shall have the power to coin money, regulate the value thereof, and of foreign coin, and fix the standard of weights and measures. And folks, in Article 1, Section 10, it says that no state shall make anything but gold and silver coin a tender in payment of debts. Now, I would like every single one of you to take a dollar bill out of your pocket right at this moment, and I want each and every one of you to take a quarter or a nickel or a dime, I don't care what it is, take it out of your pocket. In fact, take them all out of your pocket. Take one of each denomination of coin out of your pocket and lay it on the table before you, or on the arm of your chair, or just hold them in your hand. Now, if you have indeed done that, you are looking at several coins, and you're looking at a dollar bill, but that's okay. It could be a $10 bill, a $5, a $20. It doesn't matter what it is. What you're looking at is evidence of the greatest heist in the history of the world. The robbery of an entire nation of all of its assets, natural resources, and people. And I will explain that to you. If you take each one of those coins, you will find that none of them are silver or gold. None of them, not one. You may have a quarter that looks like it is silver, or a dime that looks like it is silver, but it is what is called copper-clad. In other words, it's a copper coin, a bus token, if you will. That's exactly what it is, a bus token, a piece of copper, to which they have applied a very, very thin coating of silver alloy. It's not even pure silver. It's not pure silver so that it doesn't wear off too quickly. Silver alloy to make it look like it is silver, to fool you. Because most people, if they have a coin that looks like silver, to them, it is. To me, it's nothing but a bus token, folks, and that's what it should be to you, too. Look at the dollar bill. On that dollar bill, down at the bottom, it says $1, and that is a lie. It cannot be $1 if it does not conform to the Constitution's version of what a dollar is. And the Constitution says to coin money and regulate the value thereof. It's in Article 1, Section 8, Paragraph 5. And in Article 1, Section 10, Paragraph 1, no state shall make anything but gold and silver coin a tender in payment of debts. So it cannot be $1, and I'll tell you why it cannot be $1. It cannot be $1 because it is fiat money. Fiat money is counterfeit money. It means it cannot be exchanged for gold or silver coin. In fact, it cannot be exchanged for anything, and it is worth only what some fool is willing to give you for it. The other lie on that piece of paper called a Federal Reserve note is just that, the term Federal Reserve note. A note, as defined by the dictionary, is something that records that someone else owes something to somebody. And a note can be called and exchanged for whatever collateral is presented against the note. For instance, if you borrow money on your house and you cannot pay the money back, they can come with the note and take the house. I think you all understand that. The house is worth something. But if they came with a note and you just gave them another note, boy, you'd be laughing, wouldn't you? You got a house, they got nothing but 2 notes. And if they come with those 2 notes and give them to you and you give them 2 other notes, what have they got? That's exactly what is happening with this phony fiat, counterfeit, treasonous paper called a Federal Reserve note. And this is what is destroying our country, folks. It is not money, it is worthless. In fact, that bill that you're holding in your hand is worth less than a blank sheet of paper because it's all covered with ink and you can't even use it to write on. You see, the only thing that gives that Federal Reserve note any value whatsoever is the number of fools who are willing to accept it. For one time in this country, we had gold certificates and silver certificates. And you could take any one of those pieces of paper, if it was a gold certificate, and it was a $500 gold certificate, you could exchange it for $500 in gold coin at any bank. Any bank. If it was a silver certificate and it was a $1 note, you could take it and exchange it for $1 in silver coin at any bank. Our money was the most valuable, most coveted, most sought after money in the world because it had value, substance, worth. All wealth stems from the land, folks. Everything else that is not of the land will ultimately decay and disappear into thin air, or into dust, or into air and dust, or in a puff of smoke if it burns.